You should be barricaded in your house and kept off of the street, or sterilized, lobotomized, left in a car in heat, cause the things you say and do tell me your brain cells are with you, and that is why I hate you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. Oh, you thought you were listening to a different podcast for a second there, didn't you? I
Jesus
tricked everyone.
Christ.
Hey, everybody. Welcome
I was
to the
gonna
podcast.
lean in until you pulled that corny shit.
Oh, man. I should have leaned in more.
You should have. I would definitely joined in.
All right, we'll start over here. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. How are you doing?
Hello, welcome. Come on,
Today,
please.
Today we'll talk about
With
the
ears.
booty, the bushy, the beat, the boot, the cat, the gas, the key. That was
Whatever
nonsense.
he said.
Yeah, I should give me and talk about the beach. Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast after a week off. We got stuff to talk about. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Where do I want to start today? You know what I want to start with? I want to start with the fucking school bus, okay? Not the fucking school bus. That makes it sound like the school bus is my problem. So I'm standing at the school bus yesterday. It was a couple days ago. And the bus gets there, puts out a stop sign. We got 6 fucking kids standing in the road waiting for the bus to, driver tell them go ahead and walk over. And this fucking white truck with a trailer comes down the road behind the kids and then just like pulls off to the left of them and then makes the left-hand turn in front of the bus. Just like right. And I almost
while
lost
the bus
my
is
shit.
there.
Yeah, with the stop sign out. Almost lost my shit. And my one of the parents next to me, he's actually a police officer. And I was like, they're not allowed to make that left in front of the bus right there, right? And he's like, no. And I almost flipped shit. It's like, there's 6 fucking kids standing in the road. And you motherfucker, you came down. I was so mad. I was like, is that fucker live on our street? Does that person live on our street? I don't understand how people can be so fucking obnoxious and shitty. And our bus driver's really good too. Like if
That's
people are
literally
waiting,
they are people like that are the focus of our show. I mean,
well, yes. I mean that we wouldn't have a show without those people. But
so
our bus driver's good too. Like after the kids get on the bus, she'll wave the cars, like go ahead and get in front of me, so you're not behind me waiting for me every time I make a stop.
yeah.
And this fucker just pulls out in front, like next to the kids, like just zooms out and past the kids. I'm like, there's 6 fucking children standing in the road. You just like zoom past them with a trailer behind you too. Like it's not. I was so fucking mad. Anyway, it just was one of those things where.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned school bus because 2 bad things with school buses that happened this week, and I feel bad about one because it was purely my fault. Is I was driving down a straightaway and I had to get home because I had to go to the bathroom and I had a really long work day.
Oh,
And
I hate those.
it's a bus and myself, and we're coming in, and as we're like getting closer to each other, I notice it starts flashing these yellow lights.
And you're
I'm
like,
okay, there's no houses on each side. There's nothing but foliage, so it's not going to stop there. It's going to stop at least in this driveway. So I have to get past the bus before it gets to the driveway, which I did. I did successfully do, but I felt like an asshole because that's literally where it stopped.
Yeah.
It didn't put up the sign before I got past the bus driver, but the bus driver looked at me like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?" And I felt bad.
No, you're good,
but
man.
I wasn't gonna piss myself in the car.
Oh, you had to pee. I was gonna say that your cheeks don't know there's a bus coming. But I had that problem. I had that problem over the weekend. I've been sick for like all week. I was sick. I had a stomach bug. My kids had it like 10 days ago, and I thought I was in the clear, and then it just showed up. My daughter had a dance recital on Sunday, this past Sunday, and I woke up that morning and was just like, I have to go to the bathroom, and it was not a pretty sight. And I was just thinking, I'm like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I had to go and get flowers for her at the store before we went and stuff. It was just so, I took like 3 antidiarrheals.
That's true. That's true dad energy. True. That is the most masculine you can be because you are vulnerable when you have diarrhea.
Oh, dude, diarrhea is the one thing that stops me. Like if I'm sick, like, and there's something I got to do, a lot of times I'll do it anyway. Diarrhea is the one thing where I'm just like, I can't. I'm not taking any chances of shit my pants in front of people.
Yeah,
it's not happening.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I went and I was just like, we got done. I was like, I gotta go. I'm like bracing home, like squeezing them cheeks.
Every bit of pressure, every like gurgle, every rumble of like somebody moves the seat a little too loud, and
just
like makes your muscles.
Oh no!
This is gonna be it. I'm coming, Harriet. This is it.
I mean,
Like,
we've
just
talked before on the
every
podcast about the agreement I have with my body, right? Like, okay, we're out, you're not gonna shit, but when we get close to home, it's
oh
gonna
right.
the rumble and start.
Yes, we
It's
did.
like it knows. All right, yeah, this isn't the case here. This is like, sorry, buddy, our agreement's up.
Yeah,
Contract is null and
sorry.
void. You gotta get on.
The second really bad thing, speaking of shitty things, to happen with the bus was actually this morning. We were out on
Oh,
time. There's usually like everybody rushing. My daughter being a little problematic in the morning,
every
and
kid's a little
we
problematic in the morning, but I get it. Yeah,
yeah.
don't feel too
Like
bad
if
about
the
that.
kids are awake in the same room, they're gonna fight. So it's just so we finally get out. We're out there on time, and we're waiting. We play like this little rock game where we throw like pebbles into a sewer grate,
While
so
you're
we
waiting
can
for the
keep each
bus.
other busy. Hmm
Oh, you guys play
we all three
games.
of us play a game together.
I
Yeah,
thought we were weird because we do this. We play games too. Like we play rock paper scissors, or like today was a math game. We did math problems for each other.
yeah.
Like what's 2 + 2, and then
Oh,
everybody's
that's
gonna
awesome.
answer or guess the number. Like I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 5. Wait, we make up games every morning, and I thought we were
Yeah,
crazy.
the rock game is just something that me and my daughter did together,
Hmm.
and then when my son became part of the group, um, we just like her and I developed the rules of the game. Like if you get it into the grates, it's 2 points. If you get it into the big
Yeah,
hole, it's 1 point. If you get it
I
into the
love
crack in
this.
the side, that's 4 points. If you get it into the last grates on the end, that's
You
that's
get
four
10 points.
points.
Oh, 4. Okay,
No, it's still four
I
points
love
because
this.
it's the crack is harder.
This is just
And
more
so as we're playing,
validation that we are too similar.
oh
That-
yeah,
I love it because like there's
so
cars behind us and like I'm wondering if they're looking at us like laughing our asses off at the car plane. Like we even do when we
you
play
know what?
rock paper scissors. I have like things I do because there's 3 of us, right? So like if each of us
Yeah,
does one and we all kill each other, I'm like triple death match. And
same.
if we happen to all do the same thing, like if we all do scissors, I go cut your hair, cut your hair, cut your hair, and we
Oh
all
my
have to
god,
pretend we're cutting our hair. Anyway, I just
that's
I
pretty good.
yeah, like
Yeah, I
we
took
have
my
our own.
son to the park. He took his lightsabers. He wanted to lightsaber fight me the whole time, and then it was just like at one point, okay, when we were waiting for the bus never showed up,
Okay,
and I always end up in that weird spot in my head where I don't know if I fucked up
and you
because
missed
that's
it,
my
or if
first go
it's
to is that I messed up,
yeah.
and so I'm just like, no, there's no way. There's no way. And my daughter likes to try to be sassy with me. I'm like,
So
don't
we missed the
not
bus.
sassy to me, but like try to add on with me like my hype man, and that makes me mad. I'm like, don't do that. Just don't. And so so I have to drive them to the bus stop, and the buses are coming in. So I'm like, if it's not the actual bus lady, stop scratching my wall, cat. If it's not the actual bus driver, then it's the other guy. And my daughter retells the story every time that they got a substitute bus driver that just kept skipping stops
Oh
and
Jesus
would not
Christ!
listen to the kids. Like, this is a stop. That's a
You
kid that's supposed to
you
be on this. Like,
you've got a bus full of kids that know it everywhere you stop every day, and they're all telling you this is a stop, and you don't stop. You fucking
don't stop.
idiot!
Like he got to the school, had to go back out and get the rest of the kids. But like those parents have to go to work, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well,
And
I
then,
mean,
and mind you, he almost missed us. Like we're the only people standing out there. He drove like a half a block up the street.
would you have to like run up to them?
Yeah.
Oh my God. We've had an issue with our bus for months now where they added another whole route to our bus because
Hmm.
they were missing a bus, or I don't know if I've talked about this before. It's ridiculous. The idea of it is ridiculous. But so now the time, like it's 10 to 30 minutes later than it was before now. Like just randomly. So
Crazy.
everything's fucked up.
Wonderful.
Like my daughter has dance on Thursdays and now she gets off the bus like 2 minutes before we have to leave. It's such a anyway.
It's
Maybe
a
that's
pain. But
because oh, did you see, speaking of I don't know if we talked about on the podcast the fact that our local school budget failed. Did we talk about that?
yes, I believe we did.
And how unbelievable. Well, anyway, did you see the notes for the revised budget? What they did?
No, no, I tune out
it's
stuff like
it's
that.
it's kind of a good it's like it's bad, but I kind of like what they did. The budget got voted down, so the new
Hmm.
revised budget that they have to vote on, they took out after school busing. So basically if your kid stays late for extracurricular activities, whether that's
You have to come
sports
and
or
get them.
clubs, You got to come get them. So they're basically like, oh, you don't want to agree with the ride faucet? Fine, pick your own fucking kids up after school.
That's fine. That is
But
absolutely fine.
No, it is fine. But I thought
Like,
it was
it sucks.
it's a great fuck
It's
you,
passive
like
aggressive.
from
Oh yeah,
the district. Yeah,
it's
pick your own fucking
definitely
kids
passive
up.
aggressive. But
Yeah.
now rewinding back to what you said earlier about playing with your kids. Going to the park by here.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm playing with my kids and I'm making up this like zombie like one person because my daughter is super fast and my son just grew legs, so
Yep.
he's not as fast as she is.
Right.
So I had to make a game where it was one person's the supervillain, the other one is the professor. Not the professor. Sorry, the minion. The professor is what the name of the villain we made.
Okay.
But it's like the villain and the minion, and you have to chase the other person. And then with my daughter, then it's two people because you don't need a minion. The minion's only for short and or slow people
Okay, got
to
it.
make the game more fair and more fun.
Yep, that makes sense.
And next thing I know, there are 7 children that now mind you, I am super anxious at this point. I have a hard time being out in public. I've said it a million times. It's probably annoying saying it a million times. But now I'm not just focusing on my kids. I have these random kids that want to play, and their parents, half on their phones, standing next to me going, good job. Yeah. Have like a bunch of like moms going, oh, that's so cute. He's playing with the kids. And I'm just like, I
That's
don't know
sad.
your kids, and they're trying to touch me. Like this
Yeah,
is
but that's sad. That's sad that they're like, oh, that's so cute. He's playing with
like
your kid.
you join in, you play with them.
That should be the norm. I mean, it should be like, look at that guy not playing with his kids, not like, oh wow, he's playing with his kids. Wow.
Yeah, and
who
then
does
up in that weird like passive dad conversation where it's just like, yeah, hi, my name is Joaquin. Hi, my name is Jake. Yeah, so you guys live around here?
I hate those.
Oh yeah. We live in the house by this. You know, if you go there, the one with all the vegetation. Yeah, that place.
Dude, shout back to small talkers. I mean,
yeah.
It's just like just because we both decided to fuck and have kids in the same area doesn't mean you need to be friends with me. We don't need to fucking talk about it. I hate that shit. When my daughter graduated from kindergarten and when my son graduated from preschool, I remember they had the graduations outside, like these kids are playing, all the parents like trying to like, they're all like, hey, well, how you doing there? They're like trying to make bullshit small talk about stuff, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna go sit over here by myself. Like, I don't need to. I'm sorry, I don't need to like make bullshit conversation with you. I just don't. If we want to talk about like, oh, what did you think of the teacher this year? Like, fine. But like, you don't need to be like, oh yeah, we went to Disney World this past summer and it was really cool. Yeah, I really like this one ride. I'm like, I don't fucking care. I don't care.
Yeah, the sun just seems a little closer this year than it was last year, right?
Fuck. Oh man, yeah. I love when we get callbacks to episodes. Okay, now call back to you talking about playing lightsabers. Have you played Jedi Survivor yet? Just quick gaming talk.
I haven't. Mainly because I really don't have the funds to do so right now.
I picked it up, and I forgot that I hated Fallen Order, so I don't know why.
Oh, I like Fallen Order. I like Fallen Order, but I'm a Souls player, and they base a lot of the gameplay off of like Uncharted and Souls.
Yes.
So
yes, I don't, and granted, it's a hard game, and I don't like that about it. I don't like how hard it is because again. I play games to not have to. I don't want to do the same boss battle 87 times, unless it's one of those
NHL
cool battles.
Games. You just play sports games, and sports games are not necessarily fun.
They are.
I mean, I know it's.
I don't want to get into this conversation because I've had this conversation a million times with my wife about about playing my sports games because they're fun.
No, I'm just saying
sometimes
it
you win and you're
mitigates your
happy.
excuse because it seems like every time you bring up NHL, you're angry about it.
Yeah, well, because it's either I spent 30 minutes and I'm like, yeah, I won, cool, or I spent 30 minutes and I'm like, fuck, I just wasted 30 minutes and I fucking lost it and there's no reason. I could have just done something else. Anyway, but it is hard and I don't like that.
Yeah.
And the boss battles aren't like Zelda boss battles or God of War
They're
boss
not
battles.
epic or anything. It's just like a duel.
This epic. Yeah, you're just fighting for like 30
Yeah.
minutes, and I don't want to have to do that 37 fucking times. But that's not my problem with it. It is the most unintuitive, glitchy, just
You had it for
uninspired.
PS5, right? You got it for
Yeah.
PS5. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't have any of the PC issues. Uninspired. I shouldn't have to try to make one jump 37. It's one simple jump 37 times, because when I jump, my character doesn't grab the ledge right, or he jumps a little short and falls down the fucking pit. I shouldn't, if I'm grinding on a wire and I have to jump to the next wire, I should just have to get the timing right to make sure the little sparks don't hit me. I shouldn't have to jump to the next wire and my player jumps over the wire and into the pit. Like shit like that is unintuitive.
See,
I would have
to watch you play, because I usually like with Fallen Order. I didn't have that problem except for one part, and I only get confused when the camera changes.
Well, there's
And
the
that
other
happened, like,
problem.
in the beginning.
Completely unintuitive as far as where you're supposed to go, what you're supposed to do next. I don't feel like they set it up for you or help guide you in the right direction at all. It's just, I've had several parts where I get there and I'm just like, what the fuck am I supposed to do now? I literally don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm on a cliff. There's nothing in front of me. I don't see anywhere to go. And I've like just jumped in the cliff 37 times because I thought and I'm like, oh, I guess I have to make that jump. And I try to make the jump and I can't make it, but I'm like this close. I'm like this close. I'm like, I must just not be making it. Oh no, there's this random button like behind me up in the sky 30,000 feet away that I'm supposed to shoot a thing at to get another thing to pop up for me to jump. Like it's so it could be because I played this after Horizon Forbidden West, which is incredibly intuitive, incredibly well thought out, incredibly like inspired. And it's just such a sharp, I can't talk today. Sharp contrast between the two, but I fucking hate this game. And I'm like 3/4 to 80% to the end, and my wife's like, "Why do you keep playing it?" Because I'm like, I fucking hate this game. Why do you keep playing? I'm like, because I'm almost done with it. I just want to finish it and be done with it.
And it's canon, so if you're interested in Star Wars stuff,
it's canon.
Yeah,
and I mean, well, I'm not going to spoil anything.
I actually like the addition of the character Cal Kestis. I
do too. I don't totally dislike the story and the lore that's involved, although I've heard people that don't. I don't dislike any of that part. I like those parts. I mean, I could just put it on story mode, I guess, and just play it on story mode. But then I feel like
you would still have problems with the platforming shit.
Right. That's true. Yeah, it's just the story's been good. I've enjoyed the story, and like there's some cool parts. There's one point I'm gonna just go ahead and spoil it. It's not a big deal, but anybody that does want to hear this,
spoiler warning. Now we have. Do
you not want to hear this? Do you not want to hear it?
I don't care.
It's not a story.
Things don't get ruined for me very easily.
There's one part where you're running up to like a big bay door, and this like boss battle pops up, and it says like Rick the door repairman or something. And it's got a boss life meter and shit. Have you seen this? And then he's like, "You'll not defeat me, Jedi!" And you hit him once, and he's dead. And it goes, "Boss defeated."
I love that.
I laughed so hard at that part.
That tongue-in-cheek shit is really funny to me. I love it.
That was the only, and I was like, all right, it kind of redeems the game a little bit because it was ridiculous. All right, anyway, that's enough game talk.
Well, you were speaking of games. I'm really happy because I was about to judge you at first. I was like, wait a minute. I know he understands like a bit of intuitiveness. One, because you play Horizon, and one of your favorite games is Ghost of Tsushima. So it's like, okay, I can give you that, like your opinion on that without questioning it too hard.
Ghost of Tsushima is a game that is difficult to master and play. It can be a hard game to play, but it is intuitive. It teaches you how to play. It without telling you where to go or what to do, guides you in the direction of where to go and what to do. Survivor just doesn't, and it's just like, again, like
it's like a standard EA game, a standard EA open world game.
Again, like the thing with the wires where you're grinding on the wires and there's sparks coming down, so you got to jump between the wires to avoid the sparks. Like the point of that is to avoid the sparks. Like that's the gameplay part, right? I'm trying to get out of the way. I shouldn't have to worry that he's not going to catch the wire and he's going to just jump over it for no reason. The programmers shouldn't allow that to happen. They should make sure, like, okay, as long as you're in the vicinity of that wire, you're going to catch the wire. It just doesn't make any sense.
Even Sonic Adventure was able to do that. So
yeah, it's just stuff like that.
Came out when we were kids.
That's just common sense intuitiveness in gaming to make sure the experience is enjoyable. If I get hit hit by the sparks and I die, cool. That's what's supposed to happen. That's why the
Yeah.
sparks are there. They're I shouldn't be jumping over the wire and falling into a pit. It's just stupid.
Just don't remember, honey. Don't use your superpowers too much. You'll fly off.
Oh, and then one of the other things I hate is if you fall too far, you die, but you immediately respawn where you were and you lose a little health, which is fine. But there are some levels that are height based where you're going up instead of forward. So you're
Yeah.
climbing like a mountain and stuff. And you might fall, but for some reason you don't die because you didn't fall far enough, but you fell far enough down that you're now in a beginning part of the level and you have to go back through. Like stuff like that is just
Yeah,
stupid.
it's inconsistent.
Anyway,
It's thematically
it's very inconsistent and it's unintuitive and it just ruins the gameplay experience.
Well,
It ruins
I'm gonna wait for it to come out on Game Pass anyway.
I mean,
At that
yeah,
point.
dude. If you're gonna play it, that's the smart choice.
That's how I played Fallen Order. It came out on Game Pass, and I played it there.
Yeah, I think I did the same thing. I waited for Fallen Order to come out on Game Pass before I played that because I wasn't as interested in it.
Yeah.
I
Same-
only play
same
Jedi
here.
Survivor now because I picked it up and I have Ragnarok to play still and not Breath of Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and I was
Tears
like,
of the
I'm gonna play
Kingdom,
Fallen
which-
Order now.
Yeah, I watched a buddy of mine play a little bit of that, and it looks really good.
It's gonna be months.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna
but
be a ton
that's a
of
game
fun.
that you
I figured I could-
actually play for a long period of
Yes.
time.
Well, I figured I'll finish Survivor now so I could sell it because it's what I like. I typically do. I buy the game, I play it, and then I sell it for like $10 less than I bought it for, and I pay $10 to play the game. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But if I wait too long, then obviously that's not going to work out. So, okay, let's get into some more serious topics and things that I've been thinking about, or maybe not. I mean, I don't know.
We're probably going to ramble for a while. It's been a while since we've spoken.
I know, but
Yeah.
we've got about an hour or so before.
Well, I know everybody's going to bring it up.
Waste...
It's a thing in the past. Canadian Fire, is that one of the things you're going to bring up?
No, actually, that
The fact
wasn't
that we
on
became
my
a
list, but
post-apocalyptic hellscape for a little bit.
that was crazy here in New York, wasn't it? I mean, it was like
It was-
foggy and yellow outside.
You know, I realized the extent of like how damaged I am as a person, because when you first saw it, like it looked like there was a storm in the distance, like the sky was yellow and everything,
Mhm.
but then it smelled like everybody next door was having a barbecue at the same time.
Yes. Yep.
and I was just like it was weird. I was having like mild Afghanistan flashbacks, but it was like of the most mundane things.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Because the sky looked exactly like when we had like dust storms. And
That's
before I went overseas, I never knew that dirt was a weather, like it was a thing, it was a weather condition. So
Right.
like the Air Force, they wouldn't fly if there was a dust storm,
Sure. Yeah.
at least to transport us. Like they'd fly with missions, stuff like that, but they wouldn't transport us anywhere. And like we were outside, and then all of a sudden it gets dark. It's like bright blue, beautiful, clear sky, yellow, then black. I'm sorry, yellow, brown, and then black. And then you're just
Have you
being
ever
pelted
seen-
with dirt and pebbles.
There's one Mission Impossible movie where they're in where are they? I think they're in the
I don't think I've
UAE.
seen any past 3.
Oh, well there's one where they're in the UAE and they're at because they're at the Burj Khalifa. That's what it's called, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest building in the world. And dust storm hits while he's chasing somebody and it's crazy. That's just like nuts because it's just you can't see shit. Anyway, yeah, I didn't even think about that for somebody like you that it could trigger
Oh, I
something
imagine
like that.
anybody. Yeah. Oh, I'm fine now. I also had another thing that made me kind of go crazy. But that's because I set myself on fire during a barbecue.
Oh right,
And so,
we've talked about this.
Yeah, so I could that
Jesus
smell
Christ.
of burning wood,
Yeah.
like that stuck with me. I was just like, so I was in between all kinds of different feelings. So I just like was completely numb during that time. But
It was
so
really
I
fucking weird.
yeah, so I focused myself on, and I couldn't relate to how other people felt about it because, like, I guess where I was, like, people panicking, I was like, what's the fucking big idea? Like, what's the big deal? It sucks.
I wasn't panicking or anything like that. I was just
There were
like,
people really
okay.
panicking. Like,
No,
my
you're
sister
right.
was panicking.
Oh, you're absolutely right. But I didn't get that either. It's just, I mean, it is what it is. We know what it is. There's smoke blowing down here from Canada. It's
Yeah.
from a wildfire. It's going to smell like burning wood and smoke,
Burning
and it's
wood
going to
and-
feel like there's smoke in the air.
And I felt really bad for anybody or any animal that's really, like, fucked by it, right?
Right. Yeah.
and how it'll affect kids because they're breathing that shit in. We're all breathing that shit in.
Sure. My son has asthma. I was extremely
Yeah,
worried those couple of days
absolutely.
that it
My
was
daughter
going to
wanted to
cause
wear a
him a lot of
mask,
stress.
and I was
I
just like,
saw a
"Go
lot of
ahead."
people wearing masks.
Yeah,
No,
I was
I
like, "Go
saw a lot
ahead."
of people wearing masks, and I thought I saw we went to the bus stop one day, and one of the parents and her two kids were there with masks, and I was like, oh, that's a good idea. I need to
Yeah,
do it.
it didn't dawn on me until my wife told me. I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Because I mentioned how our daughter wanted to wear a mask. She was like, "Yeah, I probably should. There's debris in that smoke." I was like,
People would have been like,
"Yeah."
nah, master, bullshit. You think that's going to stop the smoke from coming into your lungs? It can
Like, do you
particulate through the
like firefighters wear masks to not breathe in smoke, right?
I know,
Like,
I'm just
no,
being
no,
facetious.
no. I'm
Um,
agreeing with you.
yeah,
But yeah, no,
fucking.
it was and at the time, my wife and I are playing Diablo 4, and
Oh, I have
there
to get
apparently
Diablo 4.
I think they have crossplay. Just saying.
They do.
Um,
They do. I have to get it so we can play.
then yeah, I mean, right
What are
now
you
I have like a
What are you
solo.
playing it on?
I'm playing on the Xbox Series
All
X.
right, yeah, I gotta get it. We're gonna have to play it. I'll get.
Yeah,
I might get it
because
for PC.
my wife, she's a hunter. Oh, I'm sorry, rogue. Hunter was the last game. Is a rogue. I'm playing as a sorcerer, which I fought every urge to not play as a necromancer because that's just like a class her and I both play, and we just didn't want double necromancer. And I'm playing a solo
Yeah.
barbarian. I'm really liking it so far.
All right. I was just speaking to my both my
Hmm.
neurologist. I can't. Why can't I say
Neurosurgeon.
words
It's
today?
like,
Yeah, I'm having brain surgery. My neurologist and my therapist in the last 2 weeks both were like, "Oh yeah, I'm playing Diablo 4," and I was like, "Fuck, I gotta get that. I gotta get that.
fuck. I'm being left out.
I gotta get Diablo." If I asked my wife to play Diablo 4 with me, she'd ask what I was smoking. She'd be like, "The fuck are you on?
And
Are
you
you
know what?
kidding
This
me?"
one is actually less like the older Diablo. I'm very surprised. I know we're back on games because I actually find myself
Yeah,
having to actually fucking dodge and like figure out a good pattern to attack. Because with the
yeah.
other
That's
Diablo 3, I
You
just had
could
to hold a
smash.
button. Yeah.
Yeah, you could smash. Yep, if you wanted to.
So,
Yeah, I'm gonna have
but
to pick
but
that up.
anyway, so we're playing that, and then we read an article about how like apparently the same time there's like a small constituency of people or contingency. Cat,
Hmm. I think
what do you
both work.
want? Um, are we're freaking out saying, since Diablo's out, this is like a sign that the skies of New York being on fire is a sign. Like please let this be a joke. Please God, let this be a
A
joke.
sign from what?
Because every time Diablo comes out, a big bad thing happens. But I'm like, no, because even then, okay, Diablo 1 came out, there was a big hullabaloo. And then Diablo 2 comes out, there's a big hullabaloo. Diablo 3 comes out, nobody gives a fucking shit about it because it was the worst Diablo of all of them. Then
Well,
Diablo 4 comes out, and now everybody's
that's
having
why
a
I didn't buy
hullabaloo.
4. That's why I didn't
Yeah,
buy 4 because I didn't like 3. I didn't care for it.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure Satan's down there in hell and he's like, "My game's coming out. I must make a hullabaloo."
It's me, the devil, and I love
You know what would be a
Diablo.
good idea? Should we make famine, Lord? No. Should we set the world afire? No. Should we
No.
make a plague upon the people? No. Let's make the skies in New York orange for 2 days.
So evil. So stupid. But yeah, just like
Yeah, it
it
was
was just
weird,
so
but
laughably stupid, and it just
I
made
don't
me
think
want
I
to play the
talked.
game more.
I didn't talk on the podcast about the mold inspector and air inspector I had come out here. Did you? Did I? Or
No,
did I?
I
But I
don't even
told you,
remember
right?
you telling me. I don't
I
remember
didn't
you
tell you
telling me.
this. Oh, dude,
Me
this
and you
is
have
such a
not
long story.
spoken for a while.
Yeah, but this was a while ago. I'm not going to tell the whole story because it's a
Okay,
long
I don't
story and
remember
I'm just
half
going
of
to get
what you
mad.
say then.
An air inspector came out here and he told me the air in my house was fucking terrible
Yeah.
and that we were going to die basically. And then anyway, he came out and he did a mold inspection. There was mold in my house that he didn't find because he didn't actually do inspection. He didn't do shit. Anyway, I'm not going to go into the story, but he told me that the air quality in my house, the AQI was like 300. And then I got a bunch of meters and I had somebody test and it was perfectly fine. It was like less than 5. So he was full of shit. I don't know if he was trying to scam me or what. I could get into
That
it and
sounds
explain
like
everything,
it.
but I'm not going to get into it and explain it. But he told me the AQI in my house was like nearly 300 or 300. The AQI outside when the fucking smoke from the forest fires was here was like 180. And it was hazy and yellow and shit in the air. You could
Oh
see
my
it.
god!
And I'm like,
yeah.
so he came into my house and told me it was 300. My house looks fine. I don't see any shit floating around. It doesn't smell in here. I can see. And you're telling me that smoke from a forest fire made the air 180 and he told me it was worse than that? No way he didn't know what he was telling me, right? Like he couldn't have made that mistake. He
Yeah.
knows what
No,
he has to
he
know
was
that
trying to
that's
fucking
not.
scam you.
Yeah. Anyway, but
Yeah,
I
you're an
was
idiot.
like it's 180 outside with fucking wildfire smoke in the air, but he told me in my house where it's clear is 300. There's just
What
shit
a
you can't
fucking
see.
joke.
Anyway,
What a joke.
so that's that. You know what I was thinking about while I was sick? This is a weird thing. The whole time I was sick, like I'm gonna say like Monday, Tuesday, really, when I was sick, the whole time I'm just thinking to myself, I just got to get through like the next 2 days and I'll probably feel better.
Yeah.
So I just kept thinking of those 2 days. I was thinking of them almost like a task I had to complete, like something I had to get done. Like I just have to complete these
You
2
gave yourself a
days.
mission to get better in 2
Right.
days.
And it was such a weird concept to me because then I started thinking about it and I was like, that's such a weird thing to think of as time as a task you have to complete, right? Like
Yeah,
compared to
that's
like
very weird.
it was such a weird feeling because okay, like say you
Because
gotta
like we
I
all
gotta
know that time is amorphous, and we made it up.
sure,
So essentially, you use time as an additive to a goal, not as
right,
the goal.
as the goal, right? Which was so weird because you're like, okay, I gotta clean my kitchen. All right, I know that I can do that at any point. I could start it and I could put in an amount of effort and it'll get done. And I could put in more effort and it'll get done quicker. I could put in less effort and it'll get done in a slower amount of time. But
Yeah.
time as a thing I had to complete, I have no control over how that goes. It's just a stagnant window that I have to
Mm-hmm.
get to the end of. And you can't do anything to make it go faster. You can't do anything to make it go slower. You just have to endure through it. And why my brain created this thing that I had to do as a task to get to the end of my sickness was so weird to me.
That really sounds like some kind of corporate head mindset.
I don't
I'm
want
not
to
saying
think I
that
have
is
that
what it is.
mindset in my
I'm not
head
saying that
anymore at
it is.
all.
I'm not saying that is what it is.
You're
I'm
right
saying
though.
it
You're
sounds
right.
very similar to that kind of mindset. So
Well,
I
you're
mean, it's
right.
easy. I guess it's easy to have that kind of mindset, but it's odd.
You're right though because that's how things in that world I mean, in a lot of worlds, but in as far as work goes, a lot of times that's the way they do it. They don't say like, okay, this is what we have to do. The measurement is it's a 3-day project. We have to get this done in 3 days. Not considering anything else. Not like,
Hmm.
okay, things have changed. It's going to be 5 days. Things have changed. It's going to be 2 days. Things can change. It's a nebulous thing. Like we got to figure out how long it's going to take. It's just this is a 3-day project. Either and if it's not going to get done that quick, we have to put in more work at in a slower, shorter amount of time.
Yeah,
You know, and like that's a weird. It's just a weird way to think of a task as being a time frame. I don't know. It's just
yeah.
it was weird to me. My brain was just
That's
not.
yeah.
Maybe I was delusional. It was a weird
Yeah.
task.
Oh
I don't know.
no, you know what? That'll be a topic for another time. But I do want to dip my toes into it just a little bit. Um, Fanboys. That we have to make a full topic of fanboys, and
Oh, fanboys.
that includes girls and others, but
Yes. Yeah.
fanboys.
Well, let's
That
be
we have to
clear.
make that a
We're not
topic
gender excluding.
only because we had the Xbox and PlayStation showcases that just happened. Nintendo. I don't know if Nintendo did
Okay.
a showcase,
I want to
and
throw into there the maybe you were gonna say it, the Apple showcase with the new headset.
shit! I forgot all
That
about that.
needs
I
to
didn't
be
even
part of
watch
that.
it.
That needs to be part of that discussion too, with their
Yeah.
$3,500
Mm.
augmented reality headset.
It's another
People keep
Apple thing. Go
It's
ahead.
the dumbest fucking thing I have ever seen. People keep talking about it like it's a virtual reality headset. It's not. It's an augmented reality headset, which is essentially like,
Google
okay,
Glass is
I could pick
Google
up.
Glass.
It's Google Glass only, way bigger and way more intrusive, and a big piece of shit I got to carry around on my fucking head. But if you look at what it is, it's basically they're like, okay, you have an iPhone, right? You've got all these apps you can open and play with. It's that, except you put a big fucking thing on your head and your apps show up in front of you and you can pick your app and use it there. So like, okay, I want to get baseball scores. I'm gonna put my big fucking headset on. I'm gonna look and I'm gonna look at the
Let's play
ESPN
Angry
app. I don't think
Birds.
you don't have to do anything. You just have to like look at it and like move your finger or something. I'm gonna
Angry
pick that
Birds. That's
app
all I'm
and then
imagining
like
right now.
yeah, and then
If
Angry
Flappy
Birds
Birds
opens in
was a
front of
thing.
me. Like I
Right.
have a phone. It fits in my pocket. It weighs nothing. I can use that to do these things. I don't need a big fucking bulky headset on my head so I can look and go, open
Things like that
ESPN.
only need
Oh,
to exist as proof of
oh.
concept. I really feel like
Agreed. And well, Google Glass, Google did this with the Daydream headset. I don't know if you remember that, but they
I
had the
remember
Google
Daydream.
Daydream headset, which you would put your phone in, and it was the same concept. I could put this headset on with my phone in it, and I could say open the Hulu app, and it would open, and
And you
it
get
would
like
look
this
like I
movie
was in a
theater
theater.
feel kind of
Yeah,
look. Yep.
right. And there's a big screen in front of me, and I can watch my Hulu shows on a screen in my headset, and that's cool. That's fine. That's entertainment. That's virtual reality more to an extent than augmented reality. That's not really what they're trying to
Yeah.
do with this fucking stupid thing. All right, we'll get into that more later because I want to talk about the
Yeah.
fanboys who think it's amazing.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I
that's going to
really
be
feel like
next
fanboys
episode.
should exist in it only because, as I said, the showcases came out, and I'm now watching like videos are starting to pour onto my YouTube feed
Hmm.
about like, you know, man, this showcase was garbage. I open up TikTok because I hate, I'm growing to hate TikTok. I don't post on it anymore, and I'm not having fun anymore.
I
And
get it.
I blame myself for liking one thing that I thought was like a pretty poignant thing somebody said, and all of a sudden everything is like some kind of like political nonsense. And then
Well,
when I
that's
go into the video game space, it's the same shit.
we've talked about this before, man.
And
The
yeah,
algorithm 100% is geared toward inciting some sort of emotion from you, whether it's like anger or like yeah, like that.
hmm
It's not
like
like when
confirmation bias.
the fun use, like okay, I can open my app and like when we send each other silly videos, like
Yep,
I want to open it up
that's
and
what
see
I.
funny
That,
shit that I
that's
want to
why I
laugh
do that.
about.
I have
Right.
people on TikTok that all we do is send silly shit to one another. If you
Right.
send me some kind of political shit, I will not respond to it, and I might not talk to you for about a week because I do that for
But
everyone, and
it's
I
so
because I
irritating
think it's
that
ridiculous or conspiracy
they
shit or conspiracy shit.
they could have the algorithm do that though, right? Like they could be like, "Oh, you like this silly video of this shit? Like let's post we'll show you some more silly shit." But they don't. They're like, "Okay, you like that one I watched a video on YouTube the other night came up my feed. It was and I've talked about this dude Matt Walsh before, what a piece of
Oh
shit he is.
yeah,
He's the
yeah,
one woman guy. It was videos like Matt Walsh debates trans I don't know student or something like that, and I was like, yeah, let's see what dumb shit he has to say. Because and it was dumb. I shouldn't even
yep,
click on it. I clicked on it because I was like, let's see what dumb bullshit he's gonna say to this student, and I clicked on it, and I it's all on my feed now. And
yep.
it's all like
Nothing. The
anti-trans
first
shit.
thing that pops up, you're like, fuck,
It
fuck.
just assumes, oh, he watched that video. He probably is in agreement with this guy. And it's all now I get all these, not even anti-trans. It's anti-trans.
No, these
I'm
red.
not gonna
You get
soften
these
it.
the
It's
red pill,
anti-trans.
the red pill, fucking people. Oh,
It's
so I'll
red
tell
pill
you.
shit, and it's women aren't women bullshit, or trans women aren't women bullshit rhetoric like that. And I'm gonna go ahead and answer this question. What is a woman? By the dictionary definition, woman is a biologically female human being, right?
Hmm.
But these words can have more than one fucking meaning.
Yeah,
Happens all the time. The fucking Oxford English Dictionary took the word, was one of my biggest pet peeves. I could do a whole episode about this. Took the word literally, which means something that is in actuality true, and added to it the fucking bullshit definition where people
yeah.
go, I
This
am literally so hungry I could
used
eat a
as a
horse. And that is
hyperbolic
now,
term. Yeah, used
right,
as a
and that is
hyperbolic
now
term
part of
for.
the definition of the word. In the dictionary, the word is now defined as the hyperbolic use, which is ridiculous. But the point is, words can have more than one meaning. The word woman can also be used as a label for somebody that is the way they feel
Yes.
socially, in a social
Like
in a social or
like
or
I. My
human
thing
aspect.
is, my thing is, everybody needs a line. everybody has a line. Not even gonna say needs a line. Everybody has a line, and they're like, well, I don't want them pushing their definitions and bullshit on me. I'm like, motherfucker, you are doing the exact same thing. You are pushing your
Yep.
definitions on other people.
Yes.
How about
Yeah.
that they say, well, I feel like I'm a woman. I am a woman. I live my life as a woman. You go, okay, to me, you're not a biological woman, but I will respect you as being a woman. Because that is that's my internal dialogue. Like, I'm not even trying to push for everybody to be okay with everybody at this point. I'm pushing people to just be respectful at
Just
the
be
very
respectful. Yeah.
fucking
Well,
least.
here's what
You
goes
don't
through
have
my
to
head,
change
because
your
they
ideas
always
to respect somebody.
not at all. They always say this. They always say, men. I'm gonna use his voice because he's such a fucking asshole guy. Men and women are not a social construct. They're not a social construct. They're not. You know what is a social construct? Fucking words. Words are a social construct. The word woman
And it
is a
can always
social
change.
construct, you fucking asshole. Yep. You're sitting there talking about how biology isn't a social construct. Words are a social construct, so stop acting like they're not, you fucking piece of shit.
We technically could change the word woman into human being that I can reproduce with.
Right. Do you understand?
That's all you can say is a human being I can reproduce with. So if you would be a woman to somebody,
right,
using
but
words,
like,
you could be a woman to somebody because they could reproduce with you.
Sure, but in my head, I'm just like, you fucking dumb fuck. Do you not understand how ridiculous it is that you're making an argument about gender not being a social construct over a word which is a social construct and by definition can be changed socially? You fucking piece of shit idiot. And this dude's made a whole career on this. I don't want to get into a thing on it.
Yeah.
He's made a whole career on this.
No, I agree. My biggest fucking thing is anybody. What I'm not understanding is nobody understands that anybody can argue fucking anything. If you sound smart, does not fucking mean you're smart. That's why assholes like Jordan Peterson exist.
Sure.
This motherfucker went on a tirade about a lobster, and people were just like, "Oh yeah, he's really smart. Yeah, he's really cool." Like, what the fuck? He cried because somebody asked him if he thought he was the Messiah.
Well, that's another big problem. Is
like, what the fuck?
People who hear someone who sounds smart and they could be saying the dumbest shit, and they're just, we could do a whole episode about that. I don't know what we call it, but people who listen to someone who sounds smart but isn't smart and just assume they're smart. And anyway,
because anybody can become. Again, I've said it before. Anybody can become victim to their own hubris. Anybody. Everybody is capable of it. If you give somebody a platform and they speak long enough, they're going to start believing their own bullshit. That goes for you. That goes for me. That goes for my 5-year-old child, who's the sweetest 100%. Thing in the world to me. That's what I think. Yep. I think he could fall for that. Anybody could if you get enough people to think that you're right all the time. Because you have nothing 100%. Pushing back. But once, like, I'm going to bring Jordan Peterson up again. He used science to prove masculinity by talking about a fucking lobster. But it is going to sound. He also very strongly believes in God, which is opposed to the theories in which he brought up about the lobster. So he contradicts himself all the time because he has faith in his words.
Anybody like that is going to contradict themselves all the time because they are just making bullshit up as they say it. Because they're getting so revved up by everybody around them going, yeah, that they're just like, what more bullshit can I say to make these people happy? And they're not thinking about what they previously said.
Not at all. Because all these assholes just want confirmation bias. Every single one of them just want to feel like what they were told when they were wee little children, that was always the truth.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Oh man, I don't want to dig into this anymore. Sorry. But all the things that
we will actually have our episode for it.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it very soon. Very soon. We got a couple episodes I think we need to have in the hopper. But yeah, I mean the same thing with the other thing is too, like, think about a trans person as far as what are they doing to feel like they are the sex they identify with. They're changing their hair. They're changing their clothes. They're wearing or not wearing makeup. Putting in so much effort. They're doing stuff like that. All that shit is societal. Like the fact that women wear dresses is just something that was established fucking 100 years ago or whatever.
Wore dresses and high heels and wore purses.
Sure. You're absolutely right. And God, men still wear kilts, but that was just something that was established. Like that's a womanly thing to do.
Yep.
So, like again, this is just something society decided. So it can change over time. Like you said, men used to wear skirts all the time.
Yep.
It's something that can change over time. It can now become who gives a fuck.
Yeah.
And I could go on forever about
The
this.
only time again when I draw a line, one of my personal lines is when you claim you are a gender, but you put no effort to exemplify the gender. You're just changing the whole definition, and then
Sure.
expecting everybody to conform along with you. So if
Yeah. I mean, there's
I'm a big bearded guy, which I am not, but if I was a big bearded guy, and then I just go, I'm a woman today. I'm gonna use the latest restroom. Like,
yeah.
I understand that fear from conservatives. I understand that fear
Sure. Sure.
because those people do exist. There was a
Of
trans
course.
person who like used to be a big like big on trans proponents back in the like early 2000s who said out loud her quiet part, and mind you, I'm sorry, it's male, a female to male, said said out loud, if I'm not misquoting it, is that if I, being trans makes me feel special. If I'm not trans, I don't feel special anymore.
Okay, so there's different
And yeah, I'm
scenarios.
just like, that is my line, because you're doing it not for you, you're doing it for the culture. You're doing
Sure.
it, and
Look,
you're
look.
undermining what other people are going through.
The general rule is let people do and whatever. I'm not even going to get into any more than this. Let people do whatever they fuck they want if it's not hurting
Yeah.
anybody else. That's the rule. But
Yep.
there are exceptions to every fucking rule. Every
Yep.
rule. But that doesn't mean you throw out the baby with the bathwater. You just don't.
Hmm.
It's just not the way it works. So I'm so sick of people pointing to exceptions and acting like they negate
What
the
if
rule.
they
It's
do
just
that? Yeah. Oh,
it's so fucking irritating.
to get off the subject, but I also have a serious question for you.
Yeah. We should
Because
get off the subject. I have like 10 more things I would love to talk about, but
oh,
we
I'm
got to get
sorry, I
into the
keep
topic
cutting you
soon, so
off.
we've got enough time. No, but go ahead. No, go ahead. Let's do
No,
this and let's
this
get
is a
into our
serious
topic.
question for you because I've been milling this in my head for the last few days. So, I like lolcow shit. We all know that, and
Sure, yeah.
there people are talking. A lot of these lolcows turn out to be pedophiles, and
Oh, that's not good.
yeah,
How does that happen?
well,
Like
well, that's what
what
got
makes
me
you
started to thinking, because I was just like, a lot of these guys, and some of them are women, tend to be regressed. They tend to act like teenagers. Not only think they're
Sure.
like teenagers, yes, they know
Well,
better, but they act like a teenager who's emotionally unstable, not very smart, um, prone
I just want
to
to
jumping into like impulse, giving in the
let me
impulse.
interject for 2 seconds.
Yes.
I just want to say when you started talking about these months and months ago on the podcast, I had
Yeah.
no idea what you were talking about. I thought you were saying lolcats at first, and then
Oh,
I thought you were saying
LOL
lolcaz or something.
cow.
And I finally figured out not that long ago, yeah, it was lolcows. And I started like looking into it, so I knew what you were talking about. And
Yeah.
like, so now I actually am a little more familiar with what you're
Good.
talking about. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm sorry that I poisoned you. Um,
And it's poison. For anybody
it's
listening, it's
definite
poison.
poison.
But go
Like,
ahead, go ahead.
I
Sorry.
talk a lot of shit,
I
but
just
somebody's
wanted to
like,
let you know that
I
like
don't listen
I
to daytime
actually
television, but I like lol cows. So
I and it's essentially the same thing, only
it is
on YouTube
essentially the
and
same
the internet.
fucking thing.
Yeah, it's
Um,
it's people watching people with just garbage lives and being garbage people.
um, and so a lot of them tend to be like that. But I noticed a lot of them, like one of them was like tricked because and by a 14-year-old, was the most. Chris Chan is the guy that anyone who knows about locals knows about him,
Okay,
or her. I don't know, whatever. Um, but was tricked by a troll who was 14, but was just like fucking awful, and was like, "You jerked it to a 14-year-old, and I'm going to tell the police," and all that shit. And but he was like effectively a child,
hmm
not just the troll, but him, like in their mind. So I was really thinking
yes,
about it, and they're like, well, why don't their parents, like with Cyrax, they're like, why doesn't his mom just kick him out? And it's like, why does his mom not why does his mom enable him and stuff like that? And I'm thinking about it, not just not his mom, it's his grandma. But I was just like, let me think about this for a second, like on a completely, because I hate Cyrax as a person. but I don't know him, so it makes it easier for me to be objective about it. And I'm
Right.
trying to be objective not on from his point of view, but of the point of view of a loved one.
Sure. No,
And
and you're probably one of the few people in the fucking world that's going to try to put themselves in that situation. But go
yeah,
ahead.
and I'm just like, at any time when somebody's child does something terrible, the parent, like, you invested your like your life. Now he's 30. That means his grandmother invested 30 years of her life towards him. Be it him being
Sure. Mm.
shitty, him being great, doesn't fucking matter. That's an investment
She's still
regardless. She didn't
she's still
neglect him.
investing her
He's
time to
yeah,
try to maintain some semblance of
of
normalcy for him,
yeah,
or
and
I don't know what you want to call it, but
yeah, just something, some kind of like life force, whatever, kept him
right.
alive. That's an
Kept him
investment
alive is a good way to put
all
it.
alone. You put an investment to keep someone alive. Someone who has a frustrating child, just normal children are frustrating. Having a frustrating
Sure.
child, like, it's fucking difficult. And most of these people think that you're just gonna up and turn on them. Doesn't matter what the fuck they did. Now, I don't think it's right, but I also understand that it's not fucking easy. And it's not
Sure.
something that people can just fucking do. My
No,
older half
you can't.
sister tried to get my dad arrested by saying he raped her. He never did.
Jesus Christ.
What my dad did was caught her sneaking boys into our house. I only know because I knew about it. I was
Hmm.
I was the only one in the house that was in on it, but she forced me to keep it secret.
Okay.
I was like 5,
Jesus,
and
that's a lot to
I
put on
was
a
5.
5-year
She
old.
was 12. Like, it was a fucked up situation. She was sneaking. Man, she
Yeah.
snuck like 3 boys in the house. One of them like hated me because he thought I was an annoying little shit, and being like a cool
You
guy.
are an annoying little shit.
I know that.
Sorry.
Um, but to be a cool guy, tried to smother me with a pillow to scare me.
Oh,
Like,
isn't that lovely?
yeah, so I was terrified.
Yeah, I don't
And
blame you. 5 years old?
and
Jesus
my
fuck, I
dad
would
found
be.
out about all of that shit. Mind you, it was like early 90s. He spanked her ass. I would have whooped her ass, but he spanked her. Then he
Yeah.
punished her. She got mad, ran away from home, disappeared for like 3 days, came back saying, when my dad found her, because he was like, look at every night he would go look for her. They finally found her, brought her home, and so she went to the police and said he raped her. And it was a
That is
huge
fucking
investigation
heavy.
that fucked up so much in our house. Like, my dad almost
I
lost his
can't even
job.
imagine. Yeah, I can't
Everything,
even imagine.
yeah, everything was dropped. Obviously, my dad still worked. He didn't do that. He never did that.
Sure.
He was never home. He worked two or three jobs at the time. He was
That
never
is,
fucking home.
man, what makes a person,
And mind you, that
that's
that she was
that's
my
a lot to unpack.
she was my half sister. She didn't live with us until she
Sure.
was 12. She already hated my dad for feeling like he abandoned her, but he was a teenager when she was born, and he would pay, but he was
Sure.
just
Yeah.
never around. He was in the military. So he was trying to do the right thing by having her, like, be part of this family.
Hmm.
But I guess that resentment had built up, like, over the years during that time.
Yeah. I mean, that part's understandable, but
Yeah,
whew.
but she went far. She went really far. And in her doing
I mean,
that,
I don't know if you could go any farther. I mean, that's as far as you can go, essentially.
but after all of that, my dad could not just fucking flat out give up on her. Like,
I get that.
his granddaughter, which like, fucking loves my dad. She just sent me a picture. He just got to see his great grandchild. Like,
That's sweet.
he like, she loves my dad. They don't talk, but my dad gave her like multiple chances. My older half sister is a piece of shit. She's a piece of shit of a person. She's a terrible person. Good thing her daughter is amazing. I love her daughter. Her son, I never met him personally. Okay, wait, that's not true. I've met him once, but he's a great kid. So as far as I could tell, she just so happens to be a rotten person. And
Right.
my dad still just had such a hard time. Like, he tried keeping a distance and trying to, like, do what he could for her. He tried, like, actively do, even after all that shit happened. So when people just say, well, just give up on them, turn them in, kick them out, that's not a fucking easy thing to do if you
It's.
can.
I mean, well, we've had the same type of thing in our family. Not exactly, but
I know I
my
give too
brother
much,
went
but
through.
whatever.
No, my brother went through drug problems really, really bad. And it was similar, man. I was like, my mom and my dad both would just not let it go and give up. And they'd spent money and money and money trying to help him. And I was just like, what are you doing? Like, you're making you guys yourselves crazy. You're going into debt trying to do this shit.
Yeah.
It was the same thing. I was like, just let him do it. Let's let him deal with it. Like, let him fall on his face. And they couldn't do it either.
It's
No matter how
not
bad it
easy.
got.
And I know people
No,
say,
I
well,
can't.
you're enabling. And I get it. Oh, enablement is a real fucking thing.
Yeah, but there's a
But
huge difference
but
between,
there's a
again,
difference.
the objective way of looking at things and being in the situation. It's just impossible. I mean,
Yeah,
our kids are still super young, but I couldn't imagine any
not
situation
at
in
all.
which I'm just going to give up on my
Well,
kid.
that's what pushed me because I was like, I thought of like how difficult my child is, and like think like how difficult my daughter is, how like and my son. I was like imagining them older and going, okay, if they did X, Y, Z, how
Hmm.
do I think I would react? And none of the options popped into my head where I said I would just fucking flat out give up on them.
Yeah, I mean,
Like I just couldn't.
I mean, look. There are parents of murderers, and even worse that maybe they're not gonna stand by their kid and defend them, but they're gonna try to support them and get them through whatever
Yeah,
happens, whatever the
and that's why it
consequences
makes
are.
me. That's why it makes me so confused as these callous assholes who just say like that say like shit like that. Like I just
Because you're a compassionate and thoughtful human being, and they are assholes on the internet that are looking at somebody for not the way you look at them, as like an aspect of humanity you're interested in, and like what makes these people tick type of way. They just look at them as like, this is some dumb asshole that's a piece of shit, and I like to laugh at how terrible they are, and my
very
life's
true.
better than them. It makes me feel better, and I'm just completely separating myself from any humanity that person has. They're not a human to me. They're just this entity on the internet I can make fun of and laugh at. But you're right. I mean, like I said, I've been looking a little bit, and as I've been looking through too, a lot of them seem like they have some form of arrested development in some way, shape, or form, and they're not mature. Their emotional maturity is just not there.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of things you have to think about that go into that. Is it their fault? Is it not their fault? How did they become that way? So
yeah.
it's tough. I mean, with any situation, it's tough. I'm not going to get into that, but anyway,
No, I
let's
just
get
felt
into the
like that
topic.
serious question. All right.
No, it was a good question. But I mean, that's what it is. It's like you're not looking at them, I think, in the same way. You've told me many times you're just so interested in that aspect of, you've talked about on the podcast, that aspect of humanity and those people and what makes them tick and what makes them be the way they are, and put themselves out there on the internet. Like we've talked
Yeah,
about it, and you're thinking of them in a completely different way than anybody that says something like that would be thinking about them. They're just looking at them, again. They're not humanizing them at all. They're
yeah.
just
Like
some
I get enjoyment. Don't get me
entity.
fucking wrong. I laugh at
Oh
Cyrax
no,
all the
I
fucking
know,
time.
because yeah,
Like
some of it's funny, but you are not dehumanizing
yeah, they're still
them
just
to
they're
that
just
point.
shitty people. They're not. They're still people. They're just really
They're
shitty.
shitty. Yes, they're shitty people, but they're still people. And like you
Yeah.
said, you don't know how they got that way. And as a family member, and thinking, and like you said, trying to put yourself in their shoes, which people do not do enough anymore. It makes you think differently.
Yeah.
All right, topic time.
It's time to begin the complaining.
I just saw another topic that I forgot that we need to. All right, so we need to add fanboys.
Mm-hmm.
What else did we say?
Fuck if I remember.
What were we were talking
When you
about?
listen back, you'll fucking write it down.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. Oh, we also need to add Renaissance Fair fans or Renaissance Fair attend, something like that, because I need to go
Oh
off on those
God.
people because I can't stand them. You might like it, I don't know, but I
We have
can't
a
stand
mutual
those
friend.
people.
We have a mutual friend who was a Renaissance
We
guy.
do. We do. I have a couple people also I know that are big into Renaissance fairs, but I don't know why I thought of it the other day, but I was like, I need to go off on those people. They drive me nuts. Not in a hateful way, just to like, I don't understand these people way. Our topic for today, though, is sovereign citizens, which we talked about a little bit
Woo! Yeah,
in
baby.
previous episode. These motherfuckers who who think no, you know what? I don't think they actually believe the bullshit they say. I shouldn't say they think. They proclaim that they are sovereign citizens of the United States and therefore are not or are exempt from many of the laws and other things that go along with being an American citizen, whether that be taxes, insurance, other costs,
Their
registrations,
name,
licensing,
their fucking
their
name.
fucking name, any of that shit. And again, I don't think they actually believe any of this fucking shit they say. They are just horrible human beings who like to be a pain in the ass or are trying to cause problems and do whatever they can to use their sovereign citizen status to be a dick, whether it to be to police officers or employees of the county or
Any authority figure, honestly.
judges, any authority figure. So Joaquin, go ahead. You tell. Let's talk about the driver video, the sovereign driver video. One of our
So,
favorite videos on the internet.
I follow this guy on YouTube called Biff the Werewolf. Shout out to Biff.
He is great.
He's upcoming YouTuber, and I fucking love him. He's a
Yeah, he's really good.
cool, down to earth guy. I don't like live streams, but I usually always tune into his. He makes sure to respond.
Where does he live stream?
He live streams on YouTube.
Oh,
he has a set
I
schedule.
subscribe to his channel. I don't think I've gotten an alert yet.
You might have to.
Oh, he
hit
does?
the bell. Yeah. He
All
sets
right,
up
you
a
gotta
schedule.
tell me next time he's streaming.
Yeah, I will. He
I love that
makes sure to
channel.
have conversations with us. He's a really cool dude, and he just got into like sovereign citizens because he does Lolcows as well, and he's actually starting to cover a lot of good things. But
Yeah.
so there is a video of a sovereign citizen who refuses to get out of his car, and first the cops stop him and they ask him for his license registration. He goes, "I don't consent to giving my license registration. Am I being detained? Am I being detained?" He's like, "No, but we are going to," I forgot what the word is, "but we're going to hold you for further investigation to find out, to be able to properly ID you."
No, that's detained.
I thought,
arrested.
oh no, yeah, am I being arrested?
They
He says,
say,
"No,
"Am I
we're
being
gonna
arrested?" Say,
detain
no, we're
you."
just detaining you.
Yes,
We're just
you're right,
detaining
you're right.
you. Yeah.
He says, "Well, do you know how fast you were driving?" He goes, "I wasn't driving. I was traveling." Now, I misspeak a lot. I misspeak a lot, but when he said that instantly reminded me of my daughter, who loves to fucking pick my words little by little and play the semantic game because she's a little smartass.
I was just gonna say, like a lot of their bullshit seems to just come from semantics and arguing over the semantics of different things,
anything,
which is
no matter
so
what it is.
stupid.
So, this is gonna go into a long story. I'm sorry. I make a comment on the video, and I'm going to read out this comment because it was just me kind of venting my frustration, which will lead into a fucking weird interaction with a sovereign citizen. So I go, "Sovereign citizens are fighting a war of semantics. Ugh. I have a 7-year-old child that does this shit. So I couldn't imagine how engaging would have, oh, sorry, I'm going to read, I can't read. So I couldn't imagine how enraging it would be to have this kind of interaction with an adult. There are a few things in this world more upsetting than someone who's both stupid and arrogant." That's it.
That's so good, though. That's so good. That's such a good line. I'm gonna put that on my fucking tombstone.
So Biff,
that should be the tagline for our podcast. There are few people in this world that are more upsetting than those who are stupid and arrogant.
Because that's really like
so good.
All of our arguments
That's
always
everything.
come down to
All
fucking people who are both stupid and arrogant.
It's so true. All right,
So
go ahead. Sorry.
Biff replies, saying, "Bold of you to assume they are adults," which is very true.
It's very true. Yes.
I'm going to skip a little bit here. Somebody talks about driving without insurance is illegal. Like, talk about the legitimacy of it.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody compliments my kid in a backhanded kind of way, saying, your kid is that good at analyzing things, then good job. Intelligence is annoying to deal with sometimes." which is true.
It can be, but it's impressive and
But
it's
it's like
annoying.
that
Yes.
made me feel good.
No, and it's a true comment.
But then I get this message 2 weeks ago. Wow, it was this soon ago, saying, "What makes you think semantics don't matter in court?" I'll say that again because I stuttered a little bit. What makes you think semantics don't matter in court? Simple. I know that was a little bait hook. Hell, the sentence is in the shape of a hook. And I look at it, and I look at it for like 2 or 3 days because it comes up on my notifications. I'm like, do I really want to reply to this? It's a YouTube comment. YouTube comment section is
Yes.
the worst fucking place, like next to Twitter, to have any kind of conversation.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty fucking bad.
And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. It took me a few times because I know what he was doing, but I took my name was Wayman Cochran, if I didn't say that before. So this was my reply to him. Because
So if
you're
you're
not
listening.
in court. The place where they should be fighting these battles. Doing it at a traffic stop or any other time, hovering about the meaning of every little word, only wastes everybody's time and causes no one to listen to you. Presenting facts in a coherent way gives you at least a chance to be heard. Now, if you're not going to have a productive conversation, this is the only reply I'm going to give you. That was the end.
Perfect.
I was done.
And you are completely fucking on point there.
Another guy, Chris O'Brien, replies under my thing, not to me. He goes, "Oh no, it's not a semantic issue. So, sovereign citizens have formulated an incorrect, cherry-picked argument to present as an opinion has no legal basis. Essentially, just pointing out what a sovereign citizen does, because they do have a template that they go off of. Mind you,
because
they
any
poison
stupid, arrogant person
sorry, go on.
needs a template. They can't make their own arguments.
Yeah.
Of course they have to have a template.
If they can read, that's where they go by. But mind you, they poison people who want to know their rights. They blend in so fucking well with the two that when somebody wants to know their rights, when the police are fucking going across, like going abusing their rights
Sure.
or doing the wrong thing, you can't tell the fucking difference because sovereign
Nope.
citizens bleed right into that shit.
I mean,
so it's easy to become a sovereign citizen.
I think. Absolutely. I think we've discussed this on the podcast a number of times, and I've mentioned a number of times how much I hate when some asshole takes an extreme of an argument and ruins the argument for everybody else when it's a good argument. And it's the same fucking thing. You know, there are situations in which the police absolutely overreach their bounds. I think we talked about this on the podcast. Do I want to consent to a search of my car for no reason? Absolutely not.
Yep.
But I'm not gonna be intentionally being obtuse dick and be like, no, I'm not giving you my ID. No, I'm not rolling my window down just to be an asshole. I'm not gonna be such an asshole that I'm not gonna put down my fucking window and give you my ID because I'm just causing trouble. I'm holding shit up. I'm taking up time for nothing. It doesn't hurt me to give the police officer my ID and roll down my window and talk to him like a civilized fucking human being. There's nothing wrong with that. I am not doing anything. They're not violating any of my rights. I'm just being a good citizen at that point. And it's
just like
not agreeing to do those things and acting like the police are overreaching or doing something shitty ruins the argument for what, like you said, when they are doing something shitty or overreaching. And it's just It's so fucking frustrating. I can't wrap my head around it. But these guys, speaking of the words and shit, like you were talking about all the semantics of words. The one fucking video, the two brothers that get pulled over. I'll post both of these links in the show notes.
Mom!
The fucking Mom! There's this one video we watched. There's these two brothers that get pulled over. The one brother is passively being a sovereign citizen. He's not being a total asshole, but he's not cooperating. And then his brother is just being a complete fucking asshole who's in a separate vehicle. And at one point he uses the whole traveling thing. He's like, he wasn't driving. And he goes and gets a fucking dictionary out of his car. And he literally has a dictionary in his car for this very moment. And he's like, here's a dictionary.
And that's a whole different kind of asshole if you're driving around with a dictionary.
Oh yeah. That's just, you're just looking to be a dickhead. You're driving around hoping you get pulled over so you can be a pain in the ass ass. And this fucking guy is such a dick to these police officers who are being very calm and reasonable given the situation. I would have flipped out and just been like, get your fucking ass in the back of my car. I'm going to bring you downtown and shove a nightstick up your ass. Again, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm being hyperbolic. I'm not advocating for police sticking nightsticks.
That actually, that little bit of frustration, even though it was a joke, shows like you're forcing them. You're trying to force them into abusing their power. You're
trying to incite some sort of response, definitely.
Yes.
But yeah, the best part of the video though is I don't know what it is. It's at some point later where they finally, the guy finally crosses the line and they get him down and they're handcuffing him. And this guy who previously was just screaming at the police and had his balls out was like, "Fuck you, blah blah," and he just goes, "Mama." Calling for his mom to help him.
Okay, so what happened in that video was the guy was being such an asshole that they said, if you keep interjecting, we're going to arrest you for obstruction of justice.
Sure. Which he's fucking doing.
He was like, fuck. He was essentially going, fuck you, pig. Fuck you, pig. That's essentially what he was doing.
Yep.
And then he said, okay, we're going to arrest you. And he started running into his house. And the cops chase him into his house. And mind you, if I'm not mistaken, the father is either he was an officer or he was a judge.
He was like a judge, and I think the mom was like the county clerk or some shit like that.
Yeah, the mom's the county clerk.
They're both in fucking government. They're both in government. Their two kids are. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was just a personification. Maybe that's the wrong.
It's entitlement.
It's just
entitlement.
It's them. No, but maybe they like really hated their parents like a lot. And that's the way they were projecting.
Oh,
they're just like, we're going to be assholes to authority as sovereign citizens. Anyway.
No, because the parents were in on the mom. The mom was obstructing too.
The mom
got arrested.
True. Yeah, but maybe that was just being a mom and not being a sovereign citizen.
And the dad was just kind of like, what's going on?
He was just like, oh, fuck. He's like, I'm not winning my re-election.
So 2 days pass. I don't get a response. I figure, okay, we're done, right? This isn't going to happen. And then I get a notification. Wayman Cochran. He responded to me.
Oh, Cochran.
Now, mind you, I'm going to show this to the screen.
Yep.
Oh, no. This is his response.
Oh, I did find the thread finally. I forgot. I don't think I told you. I did finally find the comment thread. Yeah.
So he responds. I'm not going to read the whole goddamn thing because he.
Yeah, please don't read the whole thing. Please don't read the whole thing.
He sent me a goddamn dissertation,
which he copied and pasted.
Thank you.
Don't make it sound like he thought of it.
He goes, "You do you." Space exclamation point. I'll listen to a federal judge. ... A federal judge, just a federal judge.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes blah 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 blah. And I'm gonna read some excerpts out of this that I thought were funny. So from District Court Judge James Allegory Fee ruled that the privilege against self-incrimination is neither accorded to the passive resistance, nor to the person who is ignorant of his rights, nor to one indifferent thereto. It is a fighting clause. Its benefits can be retained only by sustained combat. It cannot be claimed by an attorney or solicitor. Attorney or solicitor. It is valid only when insisted upon by a belligerent claimant. Now I'm saying it like that because those are words that are emboldened.
Yeah, of course.
So after saying all that bullshit, he ends it with, notice the verdict's confrontational language, fighting, combat, and most surprising, belligerent. Did you ever expect to ever read a federal court condemn citizens for being passive or ignorant? Do you ever expect to see a verdict that encouraged citizens to be belligerent in court? I'll fight for my rights where I stand. Nobody liked it. And then he replied to Chris Bryan, and he gave the same like copy paste bullshit, but ultimately says that I'm not going to be a sheep. So
I love these. I love these cherry picked, out of context bullshit. No, did he cite a link? Did he give you a link? Like this is where it came from? Any of that shit? No, of course not.
No,
right?
there's nothing, no source.
You know what? There's
But
probably if you probably go back in the court records, you could probably find court decisions. I can think of one. There was one. I don't know. It was a while back where they ruled that black people were 3/5 of a human being, right? I mean, it's in a federal paper. I mean, it must be true, right?
Oh, sorry. My 1/4 came out. My 1/4 animal just
no 2/5. You're 3/5 of a human.
2/5. 3/5. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought she said 3/4.
3/5. I think that number's right. I could have it wrong. Sorry. I mean, I don't remember.
Wait, technically a 2. Wait. Maybe technically not by decimals.
How do you think they came up with that number too?
1/4 equates to 2/5. I don't.
No, it does not. No, it does
Still
not.
absurd.
I can think. I
I
can just picture them sitting there in the fucking courtroom in like whatever year that was, and they're like, "What's a good fraction to use?" And they're like debating things, and be like, "Well, they have heads. I guess that's 1/5. That's 1/5 there. They got heads. They got feet. They got arms. That's 2/5." Anyway, my point is, like, come on, dude. Like,
but so he did all that, right? Now I was originally a little heated, like my blood boiled a little bit because I was just like, this was the exact bullshit I was expecting.
Of course.
So I go, you know what? Fuck it. I want to see what if you have a channel. I don't know why I decided to even look at it because when you click on the icon on
take their profile.
You can't necessarily go to their profile anymore.
Oh, you can't. Oh.
But if you click on the little icon, it'll show you. If you click on their name, it doesn't show you. But you click on their icon, it shows you where else they commented. And this person's been commenting down the line in other people's things, like replies. And it starts like semantics. Do you like? He pointed out the word semantics, like he's searching for that word. And he goes, by semantics, do you mean the difference between Webster's dictionary words and the Black Bible dictionary, whatever the fuck, right?
The Black Book of Law.
And yeah, the Black Book of Law.
That's what they like to cite. He's like
just pointing, and then he did like Church of Scientology versus U.S. Department of Justice. He's pointing shit out from that. I went, first of all, don't point out anything from Church of Scientology. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah, you don't want to use that.
Then I finally go to his profile. And boy, howdy, is he a fucking sovereign citizen.
Oh, yeah, you found one? In the wild?
He is an old, dirty-looking white dude. Like
he's sovereign from bats.
He's either in his 80s or he heavily smokes and he's in his 50s.
He's got to be in his 50s because I don't think an 80-year-old would know how to use the internet that well, in my experience. I mean, I know I'm
I know a lot of conspiracy nuts know how to use the internet despite their age.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
This man has 4 videos up. One 10 years ago. DIY legal ID.
DIY.
Like how to
legal
make one,
ID.
I guess.
Yeah,
legal ID.
Like hold on, like a fake one, or is it like your own sovereign citizen bullshit ID?
I'm assuming it's making a fake ID. It's a minute and 48 seconds long.
If it's DIY, using the words DIY and legal together are they don't fit together. They don't fit. You can't use those two words together. They just
don't fit together, and they don't fit together in a way that sounds legitimate.
No, of course not.
I don't know if you know, at least to me, your video's not showing. As long as you can see your video, that's fine.
Yeah, I can see my video. My internet must be bad. Sorry, guys.
The next video, 5 months ago, December 24th, 2022. That's it. That's the name of the video.
Good title.
5 months ago. The title is not exactly a First Amendment audit, but they also flash badge toddlers and babies. Flashbanged toddlers and babies.
Huh?
Comma.
Did you watch it?
I'll read that again because I kind of fucked it up. I refuse to because
I don't think you fucking it up made any difference.
Yeah,
In
no,
the
it was a really
legibility.
fucked up sentence. Yeah, not exactly a first. Mind you, he's a First Amendment auditor, which is a subsect of sovereign citizen, by the way.
How do you have a
But not
subsect
a
of a
First Amendment.
subsect that? Ugh.
Yeah, yeah. Not exactly a First Amendment audit, but comma. They also flashbanged space, toddlers, and babies, comma. No period. The one I did watch, though, was a 32-second video called Dumbars Education. This motherfucker apparently talked about how he beat an assault charge. It apparently the thing he showed it dropped, but he's not showing any proof, and it's not like a legal document. It's just like a digital, he's taking a video of a computer screen of a bunch of nonsense information, and then it says like verdict dropped or charge dropped.
Okay.
But it doesn't have like a seal, or like a court seal on it or anything like that.
So
So
it doesn't
don't
look
know if
legit.
it's fucking real.
Yeah.
But he's talking shit. Like, I'm gonna play. It's really short. This motherfucker talking shit.
Here's an aggravated assault charge I beat without an attorney. They dismissed down there on the bottom. And that was from a self-defense exercise that I put on. And so when you can do that, then I'll consider you worthy of speaking to me about what self-defense is. Till then, tuck your tail and go up under the porch with the puppet, boy. You ain't qualified.
Sounds like a sovereign citizen to me.
Sounds like
And
I can
both
picture
stupid
him
and
now.
arrogant.
I can picture him now.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, Hillbilly Jack, tell me, why should I listen to you about anything you have to say, and you can't maintain all your goddamn teeth?
It's a good point.
You're missing literally half your fucking teeth. You don't even need a toothbrush and toothpaste. All you
Buddy.
need is a shirt and some water, and you can take care of your fucking teeth.
His teeth are
You
softer
can't
from his
simply
mouth,
do
okay?
that. You heard his voice in the video. He
Yeah.
doesn't even sound like he has his teeth.
No, I told you I had a picture in my head. There was no teeth.
Yeah, me and you have teeth problems as adults. Guess
we have
what? We
teeth.
still fucking have our teeth. If my teeth hurt from chewing applesauce, then I'll start listening to you. But until then, you can't even get dentures. You want to talk to me about, I beat an assault charge and it was self-defense. Fuck you.
That sounds
You had an assault charge. Fuck you. You can't talk to me about shit. Because you're saying to me that you know how to deal with the police. Yeah, because the police actually fucking arrested you. That's not an experience I want to ever deal with. Guess what? I've known how to avoid the police, and I'm a black guy in America. If I could avoid the fucking police and not end up arrested once at my age,
I think you're doing a good
then
job.
I think I did a better job than you.
I have to
You
agree.
fucking redneck piece of shit. Oh my god. He had me so
Dude, I
hot.
feel you. I wish we had more time to talk about this because I think I could go on forever. But I do
Yeah,
want to
sorry.
I do just want to kind of chime in here and just talk about very briefly how much I hate the semantics argument because that's what they focus on so much. Words are made up.
I tell you what.
Sorry, I just started playing it. I didn't mean
Words
to.
are made up to help represent feelings and thoughts. That's just the way it is.
Yes.
When people argue semantics, you're essentially arguing a mistake or a miscommunication. The intent behind words is often very, very clear. When the intent behind the words is clear and you're arguing semantics, you are just being an asshole. Period. This happens. It happens. You know what? It happens all the time.
Honestly, if you're honestly asking for clarification, that is fucking different.
That's
than
fine.
Arguing semantics.
I don't have a problem with that. But when the law
Mind
says,
you.
for example,
well, that's what I'm saying. Because
you can't drive without a license or you can't drive drunk, We all
You know what that
fucking
fucking
know what that
means.
means. We know what that means. So when you try to argue semantics and say, I'm not driving, I'm traveling, the intent of the law is for you not to be behind the wheel of a motor vehicle inebriated so you don't kill people. You can argue semantics until your heart explodes. You are still fucking wrong. You are still a fucking asshole, and you are missing the fucking point. That's all I want to say about that. And this happens all the time with, we have semantic arguments about the Constitution, and some of them are good. They make sense. But when you argue semantics about the Constitution, and you, again, don't think about intent or don't think about the changing time. Well, that's a whole nother discussion, but it drives me fucking crazy. I mean, they have to know they're being
No,
assholes.
you're good.
You can't argue that the intent is wrong. You're just arguing to try to get yourself out of a situation you don't want to be in, or a situation that you put yourself in so that you could get into some sort of argument or fight. You have no basis for your argument. There is no factual evidence. Everybody knows what it meant. You are just a piece of shit. That's it.
Yes. And to your point, and I absolutely agree. Perfect example. And mind you, I don't think all sovereign citizens are white rednecks, but I just had to call him out specifically.
They might not be. A lot of ones on the internet are.
A lot of African. There's a lot of sovereign citizens. One specifically I could point out. There's actually a mini documentary on him. He apparently drove his car into a bunch of people. He was a murderous piece of shit, black guy, and he took up sovereign citizen rhetoric to just be the biggest pain in the ass piece of shit to everybody and make the process that much fucking harder for everyone involved, victim and police alike, and lawmaker alike. It really, the tools that are given by sovereign citizens are just made to hurt people. There's nothing good to come of it. There's no freedom for that. It's just cathartic revenge. If you don't like authority and they've done you wrong, that's what you do to just be a piece of shit.
It's an excuse.
And it's under the guise of teaching the real people how to take care of themselves. But yes, it's ultimately just an excuse to be a villain. It's the difference between being the Punisher and being Batman. It's that same mindset. Like Punisher, they're both have similar things that force them to do this crazy fucking thing they're doing. Just one of them goes out and does it strictly for revenge. The difference, Punisher knows what he's doing, but he goes strictly for revenge and just wipes people out. The other one is trying to embetter the world.
Yep. It's a good way to put it.
That's it. That's the difference between those people. Punisher is not trying to make things better. He just wants his revenge.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, we could go on for a long time about sovereign citizens. I think we'll probably bring them up again in the future because I'm sure we'll have more fun videos that we come across at some point.
We're probably going to have a part 2. We're definitely going to have a part 2.
We should do a part 2
especially
because I want more time.
Fucking hear me, Wayman or Cochran, whatever. Fuck you.
Oh my God. Anyway, guys, that's the episode. Thanks for listening. I don't know if anybody cares, but I'm going to be switching our t-shirt store around to TeePublic so that there's more options. It's a little easier to do. Hey man, my zombie Jesus order still hasn't come. That was I did that a while ago. I wanted to make sure the t-shirts came out.
Yeah, I was okay.
They still haven't come. They haven't come. They haven't even shipped
Hopefully.
yet. But anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. Hey, send us some email so we have some listener email to review and tell us what you think about any of the topics we've discussed recently. We've had some good ones recently. I think that people could really go on about. So let us know what you think.
No.
But other than that, you got anything else to add?
No, I have nothing to add except for I missed you. I missed talking to everybody.
I miss you too, buddy.
I want more engagement.
I agree.
And the summer's going to be fun because I'm not working, so I'm going to be around more.
Yeah, dude. We're going to podcast our asses off this summer. We're going to just fucking chill and have fun and do cool shit and just relax and enjoy it.
It just dawned on me. We were talking to a mutual friend of ours, and he pointed out how we made it to 20 episodes, which most podcasts, they might keep going. They usually keep going if they make it to at least 20.
Oh, we're going to keep going.
So
yeah, we're going to keep going.
Yeah, no. So do we want to do something special for that, or do we want to wait until maybe we reach our like 50th?
Why don't we do 25? Because we're almost to 25. We got 2 more episodes to 25.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, we'll do
special
a
episode.
special
I don't know
25th
what we're gonna
episode.
do, but
I got some ideas.
sounds good.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you soon. Oh man, I hope the bus isn't there already. Peace.